Delivery for Sebastian!
What's this? Sue, what have you ordered from Amazon again?
Hi, Seb.
Hey, mate.
What are you doing?
Phil, what's this?
This is the special Gingerbread Man kit from CGCC.
Now, that's very unexpected, isn't it?
Yeah.
I never expected that. That's pretty cool. Let's open this, have a look. Let's see what's in it. So it's got all the ingredients in there.
It's got
all of it.
all the dry ingredients that you need to make Gingerbread Man.
Wow. So guys, you heard that? So, this is going to be really cool this year because, oh my goodness. It's got all the fun stuff. It's got all the dry ingredients. It's got it's got my treacle. It's got the bicarb. It's got the cinnamon, ground clove, icing sugar, plain flour, all the dry ingredients there. Yeah. So no excuse. No excuse at all to make this and put this together.
Yeah, exactly.
Now what do we do with this, Phil? Make it and do what?
We make Gingerbread Man to take to our friends or neighbours.
Perfect.
To invite them to the special online Christmas in the backyard.
Oh, that is perfect. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now that is perfect. Shall we teach them how to make this?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's do this. So Phil,
Yeah.
what do we need for this recipe?
We need a mixer.
A mixer, yes.
If you don't have a mixer, use a hand beater.
That's right.
Or you can even do it by hand.
Yeah, you got to have your oven preheated to about 140 degrees Celsius. If you've got a fan-forced oven, or if you've just got a normal oven, do it at 150. What else do we need, Phil?
We need a rolling pin.
We need a rolling pin, beautiful. We need maybe a
spatula.
A spatula,
Yep.
Right. What else do we need? We need a
little pan.
A bit of heat, a bit of fire just to toast your spices. You need a gingerbread man cutter. And that's going to be in your kit as well. And what else do we need, Phil?
Some baking paper.
You need some baking paper and a tray. You'll need 2 of these trays, depending on how much space you put that. We'll show you how to put the gingerbread cookies onto the actual tray itself. Tray, baking paper, and that's pretty much it. Have I missed anything? Yeah.
Okay.
I'll need one of these. What do you call this, Phil?
It's just cooling rack.
Cooling rack. Cooling rack.
Yeah.
Cooling rack. All right. We nearly forgot this one. Very important. Done. So now that we've actually got all the equipment that we need that's out of the way, let's talk about why we're doing this. And as Phil earlier said before, we're doing this because we just want to create a bit of action, a bit of fun. This has been a very, very hard year to nearly all of us. We've not been able to see each other face to face in the flesh, but here we are able to cook together, have some fun. So get your family around yourselves, get this recipe going, cook, have fun with the gingerbread, smell the ginger, smell the ginger. And once you do it and you bake it, get your neighbor, hello, Mr. Serge, how are you? And then you just give it to them. Tell them to have some of those cookies and tell them to dial in to our Christmas in the backyard that's going to be kicking off when again? So I'm going to actually toast the spices. Very, very important step. Toasting the spices really just brings out the flavor and the essential oil. So we have 1 tablespoon of ginger. Now don't burn them. That's not what you want. You've got half a tablespoon of clove and half a tablespoon of cinnamon. Warm, not hot, and just let it toast in the pan for a little bit. And once you get that aroma, which is not long to go, we should be in business. How's that, Phil? Smells good?
I can smell the clove.
Oh yes, the clove's pretty good.
If you've got little kids and you don't want them to be near the gas flame, you wouldn't have to do this step, would you?
You don't have to, yes. I mean, you don't have to really do this step if you want to. I think the best thing to do is just to leave it in the sun. That's what I would do, leave it in the sun. Use the natural elements. So that's it. My spices are toasted. Happy days. So next step, Phil, what are we going to be doing? Classic cookie recipe, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we got 1 cup of brown sugar. There you go.
Yep. Thank you.
Whack that in. And we are going to be using, I'm using a KitchenAid mix here. You could actually use a cake mix like Phil said before.
Yep.
And we're just going to add the butter. This is about 120 grams of butter. Goes in. Try and make sure it's soft because then you won't get what we refer to as creaming in the actual recipe. Beautiful. Use a paddle or use a cake mixer. They both work a treat. And I'll fix that in for you. So the next step is to add the treacle. Now, if you don't have treacle, guys, don't stress about it. Just use golden syrup or molasses. Whatever you've got, it really works. So that was about 1/3 of a cup of treacle that's gone in. Let's just repeat the ingredients we got there. 1 cup of brown sugar, 120 grams of softened butter, and 1/3 of a cup of treacle. Just about medium to high speed in a paddle, so it's nice and fluffy and creamy, and it works a treat. So now I've got the wet ingredients over there, and I've got the dry ingredients over here. So I've got 2 3/4 cups of plain flour, and you just want to put that through a sieve. I'm going to also add bicarb as well. The remaining flour. Get in there, Phil.
And how about we put the spices
Get the spices in there too, absolutely right.
So they mix together.
They mix really well. Beautiful. So I had about 1/4 of a cup of bicarb in there.
Teaspoon.
Teaspoon, yeah. Sorry, man.
Don't put 1/4 of a cup of bicarb. You'll wreck it.
Yeah, that's so true. It's gonna feel like some really horrible toothpaste. So you're gonna need 1 egg, crack. So once the eggs have actually incorporated, we're now just going to add the dry ingredients to it. We've already done all the hard bit. Now it's just getting them two together, like one happy marriage. Just going to add 1/3 of that in first, on a low heat, low speed. And don't really stress about the fact that it's not coming together. It's very sticky. It's okay. We are actually working outside, so it is quite warm today, but that's fine. If you find that it gets really sticky, just whack it in the fridge for about 5 to 6 minutes and it'll be perfect. So have a look at that in there. So that's nearly taken the other half of it. Now the last bit can go in. And straight away you can actually smell all that ginger goodness, clove, all that spices. Just gives it that Christmassy feel, that festive spirit that we really all looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Christmas. Are you, Phil?
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Christmas. I really am. Any bench surface, any work surface, chopping board, whatever you want to choose, whatever you've got at home, doesn't matter. Just brush it or just chuck a bit of flour or throw a bit of flour on your surface, and then you want to just use gravity and just want to just let that lovely gingerbread cookie mix actually onto your board. What we're going to do after this is that we're just going to work this into a dough because it is going to be quite sticky, but having your hands with a bit of flour is really going to help. I'm just going to let Phil to actually pour that onto the board. Nice, beautiful. Very nice. Yeah, so as you can see, everybody, it is very sticky, and that's okay. Don't stress about it. See how I've got my hands with a bit of flour? Just shape it like that. I'm just going to divide that up into 2 balls. Just like that. Now, my advice for you before you roll this, if you are in the position that I am in and we are in today, I recommend just leaving it in the fridge for about 5 to 6 minutes. And the best way I would do that is with a bit of baking paper. Just plonk them on the paper just like that. Put the second one on top. So if you're busy and you've got the kids at the backdrop like my one is, Zara is, and you want to come back to this, it's okay, don't stress about it. Just leave it, flatten it, and we'll leave it in the fridge. Okay, so Phil, we are at the 3/4 mark. We have just got to the frosting. We need about 1.5 cups of icing sugar.
Yeah, what we're making is royal icing.
Royal icing, yeah. That's true, very true. So I will need about the white of 1 egg, so I'm just going to separate that for us.
Now be careful, Seb, you don't get any yolk in there because that will wreck it.
That's true. I nearly wrecked it, but just managed. Just managed.
That's perfect.
If you've got a piping bag, use a piping bag. I'm going to do the piping bag method, and Phil's going to teach you another trick.
Yep. I'm just using a small, like snack size Ziploc bag. When you load it up with icing, you can just zip it.
Just give it a good little whoop, 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 whoop.
He didn't leave much for me. Here's Seb.
No, don't worry, mate. You got enough there. Come on, don't be grumpy.
Don't actually need very much.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So, that's been in the fridge for more than 5 minutes. I would say about 10 minutes all up. But you can see it's a lot more firmer, easier to work on. So all I'm doing now is just rolling it just a little bit more thin. I want to be about 3 mil. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. You get the drift. I mean, as long as you get it just about enough to cut, then just be gentle. Don't squeeze too hard. What I normally do is just open it up and then grab your cutters, and if you've got a couple of cutters, different shapes and sizes, just want to do that. Now when you press it, try and press it once and firm, and then take it out, and then you've really got enough real estate. And by the way, if you've got extra dough, you can actually just roll it all again and mix some more.
Yeah.
So how's that?
Yeah.
Happy?
Yeah.
And then what I normally do is just work around the edges. Now, if you find that if your dough is quite sticky, you can actually put this in the fridge again if you want to, but I'm just going to work my way around it just like that.
Okay, so these bad boys need about 15 minutes at 140 degrees in a fan-forced oven. Cook them low and slow. There's a lot of sugar, so they'll burn really easily. Okay, my gingerbreads are perfect. They've come out of the oven, they're nice and crisp, perfect. So make sure you put this for 15 minutes in the oven, take them out, and then put them on a cooling rack. There you have it.
All right, Phil,
Yeah.
let's get the kids involved a little bit. So what are we doing, Phil? We're going to teach them how to finish this off. Now, guys, you got kids like this, or older ones, younger ones, get them, and just have some fun decorating with them. So I've got mine with a piping bag. Now I'm going to snip a really, really small. You want to go really small first, because you can always cut it bigger if you want to. And Phil's going to do a couple. So we've got a couple of really nice ones baked here. So Phil, you get a couple there, mate. It's yours. I'll get a couple here. And there you go, mate. So do whatever you want to with this. So I'm going to do a couple of eyes. I'm going to do a couple of buttons. So I'm just going to go with a couple of little specks there. Doesn't have to be perfect, everybody. Just like,
Oh, what?
doesn't have to be perfect.
Not what you said before.
And then get those beady eyes with some little decorations if you've got some. Doing this as a celebration of having a family, celebrating something that we never ever would have expected last year this time, that we would have actually had to deal with the pandemic. So church, family, friends, loved ones, neighbors, brothers, sisters, fathers, mothers, kids, mates, just get them all together and just have some fun around the table, bake these cookies, and most importantly, cook them together, share them with your friends and family. And you know what? The most important thing, invite them to our Christmas in the backyard. Have a great day, everybody, and have a fantastic Christmas and a great 2020. Done.
Done. I want cookie.
Cookie. Cookie.
Cookie.